Hello everyone, this is Astocky here. Welcome to another video of my Technic pack Let's Play. This is going to be effectively part 2 of the last episode, although I'm calling it a new part because I got sick of having like part A, B, C, D and E and all those other crazy kind of things in the last one. What you will notice is, once again, my system decided that I needed to uninstall the Technic launcher. Well, actually what decided it for me was the fact that there was a problem that I couldn't get the Techit. I couldn't get the Techit system to install correctly. So I had to uninstall all of my Technic launcher folder, and so I've reinstalled that now, but it meant that I had to go through and it thinks I had to update all my mod packs. So whoa, I really don't like these guys. They cause me lots of issues, particularly when you're doing big builds above ground. Cave ogres also do the other same thing. So what I've actually done is, because they're a feature that's added in Mo Creatures, and I like most of Mo Creatures, but I really don't like the ogres when I'm playing Technic pack. So what I've done is I've gone into hostile mobs and I've said only spawn only spawn cave ogres and fire ogres and normal ogres on hard difficulty, and I've got my difficulty on normal, so I never actually should see them, although I think those were probably spawned from the last time I played. So in this episode I'm going to finish off what I was doing last time. So what I did here is I've just updated this a little bit because I realized I had set it up incorrectly. And actually what I'm going to start with is, where's my bag of goodies? I'm going to start by crafting up. That was not what I meant to hit. I'm going to start by crafting up some wireless transmitters and some wireless receivers. I think 2 receivers and 2 transmitters should be good to start with. So redstone torches, redstone dust around the edges, I think. Yep. Oh, not enough redstone. Okay, that's going to be a problem. So that's 2 transmitters, but not enough redstone for any receivers. Okay, that's a pain. Wonder if I can turn... No. Okay, I'm going to go back and get some more redstone, and I'm going to come back once I've got everything organised. Back soon. Okay, I'm back. I really don't like the fact that my base is in a swamp biome, because it just seems to rain constantly and it's really annoying. But hopefully now I've got myself enough redstone to be able to make a few different things. I probably still should have got more, but this is going to be a good enough start anyway. And then what did I needed levers. Okay, so cobblestone, I need 2 levers. Now we should be good. So levers in the center, iron around the corners, redstone in the other pieces, and there I have 2 wireless receivers. So now I've got both transmitters and receivers covered. So this particular part here, which is the crusher, I'm going to start by... I actually want to have a knot set for this, so what I'm going to do is put a receiver here, go for frequency 100, and then I'm going to put a block, and then hopefully that should become a knot of the signal. So what happens is those pistons should have pushed out. Oh no, sorry, yeah, that's right, that's got myself all confused now. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So I was having a look at the ethoslab tutorial, and I've decided that in wanting to make this as quick as I possibly can, I've decided that for today, yeah, so there you go, when I flick it, it comes out. So I've decided that I'm not actually going to wire up the full automated system. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wire up just some levers to make it a manual system, and then I'll decide based on how well that goes whether I'm going to extend it and go a little bit further. So just for now anyway, so that's my first transmitter. So I'm going to change the frequencies here and make this frequency 101, and that one there is frequency 100. So what 101 is going to do, what 101 is going to do is it is going to activate this push here, and it's also going to activate these gates here. What I have realized though is that the way I've run these is that my blocks actually go too close to this particular piston here, so I can end up with a problem where if I hit this switch it does nothing. That's not the problem. The problem is that I haven't connected it. So what I'm going to do now is get rid of some of that excess wiring, because it really is just excess. Going to add, not sure where the best place to add it is. That'll probably do for now. So oops, we want 101. So now when I hit this second lever here, we have, you can see these pieces of soul sand come in to close the top off, and then the back wall should push in. Actually, you can see my top part of the back wall pushes in much too fast. That was one of the problems I was alluding to, because what happens is it actually runs up along here and gets to this block which activates the piston before it's meant to. So what I have to do is I have to divert that and work my way around it. So by coming up like that, that won't activate the pistons, but it will still leave pretty much everything else intact. So now what should happen when I turn the switch off, everything works correctly. Turn the switch on, the whole wall moves as one. And now when I hit this switch here, the crusher comes out and we'll be crushing the blazes right now, which reminds me that that block there and that block there need to both be replaced with sand, glass. So that was what I was using, soul sand, wasn't it? So we'll put 2 blocks of soul sand there so that you'll actually be able to see what's going on. This hopefully will give you a good demonstration of my problem. When I hit this switch, the torch changes, these invert, but the blocks are still being powered, so the pistons stay out until I hit that, which actually releases them. Actually, look at that, in that case it didn't even release it. So there is a, there we go, there is a problem with my blocks firing off the signal when they shouldn't be. And so the way to fix that, other than eating a piece of bread, is going to be to come up here, and what I have to actually do is I have to divert this and go one lot of blocks wider than I currently have gone. So what I'm going to do is go here, 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 and then come up this way, and then come down a block wider. So if I just move everything over one, it should work the way that it's supposed to. I've changed the design quite a bit from the ethoslab sort of wiring design, just because I was winging it and it hasn't quite worked out the way that I thought it would. But that's okay, because you do these kind of things and you learn from them. What I will have to make sure though is that the system is still powered correctly the way that it's supposed to be, and that all the pistons still operate the way they're supposed to. So there we have all the wiring, all the repeaters the way they're supposed to. Ow. So now we go hit that switch. I'm going to just run up the top there and just make sure that everything worked the way it was supposed to, that all the pistons have extended. No. The 2 pistons at the bottom here have not extended, so obviously the downside to moving everything is that it doesn't quite work the way that it should now. So the solution to that is not an elegant one, but I think I should be able to stick a second repeater in. So there you go, that has now made them fire correctly. Now what we want to do is we want to activate. It activates. Now we turn it off and it pulls back. So there we go. So it is working correctly now. So what I can do is, actually this needs to come down one further because that's going to be the level where my floor is. That's where my floor is going to be. So once I put it together, it's going to look like that, and it's going to be like a bit of a corridor that you walk through. So that cannot be in that spot. So thinking about how I'm going to do this, seeing as I'm using a wireless transmitter, I'm thinking I'm going to actually run it around the back now. So put that block of sand back, build this up, we'll knock all these down. It's getting dark already. Great. Come down here. Hopefully I should only have to go too deep. Just put that block in the corner there for now, and I'll put that block on the corner there so it's even. Now we want our receiver, and that receiver is going to be set to frequency 100. Then we want to invert the signal. Inverted, and then we want to drive that into a block, and I'm gonna actually, the original design called for 4 repeaters all at 4 ticks, so just in case I ever do decide to do the timing and put it in, I might actually stick with his original sort of repeater setup design. There's no good way to do this though. I'm gonna have to go 3 wide here, because based on the way I've got it set up, there's no easy way to do it. I'm running my wire too close to itself. So, like I said, I've said it a couple of times now. Redstone is not really my thing. I'm definitely learning and kind of getting there with things, but yeah, it is something that seriously, I thought I was getting attacked by something big and evil and vicious. It's a little tiny slime. Made me panic though. Okay, so we want a redstone torch to make that a not signal. Then we want to run 1, 2 repeaters, each on the full blockage, and then we want to come back here and run 2 more, each on the full, and then if we put that just there, that works the way that it should. And if I hit my switch, there should be a slight delay, and then the blocks come out. I hit it again, slight delay, blocks go back. Excellent. So I'm going to now fill this in so mobs don't get any ideas about blowing up all my wiring. Look at all those mobs over there. They're all thinking, I wish I could get him, but they can't, because they're over there and they're stupid. So I'm going to fill this sand back in, seeing as I don't need it. And I'm going to head back to my base and make it morning and be back in a second. Hello and welcome back. I'm glad I came back to sleep, because I realised that I need smooth stone to make smooth stone pressure plates, and I didn't actually have any of those, so I came back here and I thought I would duplicate myself some smooth stone to make the pressure plates, and while I'm doing it I'm going to make myself a bit more redstone as well, just to make sure I don't run out. I don't actually think that I need any more, but it'll be good to have anyway. So that's what I need to make there, a pressure plate, and so the recipe is 2 pieces of stone right next to each other. And I'm going to make 32 of those, because I don't have the faintest clue how many I'm actually going to need. So what do we got there? 12 pieces of redstone. Let's throw some glowstone in again. A stack of redstone in a bit will be helpful. And I always use lots of redstone, so I'm better off to keep duplicating that than I am to duplicate glowstone. Check on my diamond production while I'm here. Whoa. Yeah, whoa. I think it's going to be time to build some interdiction torches and some teleport pipes. But I do want to get this spawner finished in this episode. And this episode's already been going for around about 15 minutes, so I'm going to run over here and get this thing finished. And then I'll neaten it up off camera. And I'll add all the redstone circuitry to make it timed off camera as well. So, okay, so we'll start by, there we go. I cooked up some glass while I was back there to make sure that I had plenty of glass, because otherwise when I came here and didn't have any glass I was going to look silly. So I'm going to knock that block there out. No, I'm not. I'm going to knock that block there out, because I don't want to fall back down. And I want to be able to get back up here. So now replace each of the pieces of soul sand with a piece of glass. Don't know why those were extended when they shouldn't have been. Let's try this. So there's all my glass extended. Yep, so the roof is sealed incorrectly. Flick it back. Okay, the power is not being turned off to those blocks for some reason. What is causing that to happen? These are the ones that I was turning on with that. Let's just knock that off for now. See if we can work out what the issue is. On. They're still not returning and retracting back to normal. I'm not sure what's going on. There's definitely no power. None of the signals are on. Everything's turned off. The block just doesn't seem to be updating for some reason. So that's just, yeah, that's just updated it. It's forced it to update. That's just done the same thing and forced it to update. Just try it now. Now it's not turning on. I think this is going to be a giant hassle. Wonder if I just run plain redstone like that, if that will work. Because I want to power the block, but I want it to know that it's being updated. Okay, it definitely looks like the blocks have extended now. And do they retract? No, they don't. Something incredibly annoying is happening, and I'm going to work out what the issue is after I get this basically set up. Because you can see by me putting a torch here, that kind of is commanding the block on then back off, and that's forcing it to update itself. But I don't know why it needs to be forced to be updated. So up we go. So we have our, this is the level of our gate. So we want to go 1, 2 up from our gate. So now we are 2 up. And then this is where we want to start setting up our pressure plates. Where did the pressure plates go? Up the top. Gone a little bit blind. So we need to set up our pressure plates. Now each of these pressure plates is going to hook into a little bit of a system. That clicking's quite annoying. Okay, so what we've done now, actually no, what we have done now is we have set up that every time you step on a pressure plate, you fire the repeater that's connected to it, and at the moment you fire that repeater into nothing. But what we're going to set up, that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. What have I done wrong? The simplest answer is I don't know what I've done wrong. And so the solution is we break all of this, because I no longer like it. It's being a pain. And we come over this side and we break all of that as well. Trying to break it symmetrically. Yep, so broken all that. Now what I'm going to do is just here, going to place, get rid of that block and that block. Nope, need that block. Get rid of that block. Getting rid of all the blocks that are touching this except on the diagonal, so that I don't accidentally have that firing off in any position that it shouldn't. So we get rid of that one. No, that can stay there. But we need to get rid of that one. And we don't need those two. And that one. Sure, that was what I just did. One block on top, I can get rid of that. So now basically what I'm going to do is going to come over here, knock that down. What I want to do is have a repeater just there, drive directly into the side of that piston. Can't believe I haven't even got to the point where I'm supposed to be making the blaze stuff yet. I'm still stuffing around with the bit that's supposed to be really simple. Now I'm going to make this side match. The downside of doing it the way that I'm doing it now is that you can't actually link all the bits together in the position that you want them to be. You have to use an extra set of wireless repeaters, but I think based on the problems I'm having with something as simple as wireless repeaters, I think this is a much better way to do it. So now let's hit the switch. We should see all of my sand got pushed. That's not a big deal. That one worked. That one did not work. Why did this one not work? Am I not? No, I am definitely firing into it the way it's supposed to. Maybe the issue was the sand. It's like it's almost got the signal inverted. Okay, so there's no signal going to it now, and it is retracted. Hit the switch. Yep, okay, so those two blocks have come out, and those ones have come out. Hit the switch again. Everything retracts back correctly. So now I just need one more wireless receiver. I think the receiver was the one with the cobble. Oh, don't tell me I put on my cobble back. Always carry cobble. It is essential. Okay, so back to my crafting table. Once again, this is taking way longer than it should. But that's okay, because receiver, beautiful. Because things taking a lot longer than they should is part of what makes, I guess it's part of what makes this game exciting and interesting, that you're constantly learning new things and having different stuff happen. Okay, so how do I want to do this? Let's go with those are no longer needed, so I'll break that down. And it's the same over there, that's no longer needed, or that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my receiver just here, set it to 101, yep, that was the correct frequency. And now if I run some redstone, hopefully that should power the, no that won't. I've had that experience in the past that it won't run the piston correctly. So what I'm going to need to do is come out a little bit. So I'm going to need to come out. That will definitely work. I'm not going to say that it's going to be much better, but it's definitely going to work. And symmetry is key. Okay, so let's try this now. Okay, we've got all of our glass pushed forward. We've got our backsplash pushed forward correctly. Pull it back and everything retracts. Excellent. So I'm now ready to move forward. Look at that. Lighting up beautifully, just the way it was supposed to. Better eat some food before I start to starve the next time I fall and hurt myself. Look at all those things that can climb and get me. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to add blocks, and then we need to get sticky pistons. And hopefully I can do this without setting it off and sticky pistoning myself. So what will happen now is if you step on this, the sticky piston will come out and push you into the center. So that's the setup that I want to do for each of these. Once again, I'm hoping that I can put myself into a position where I don't sticky piston myself in the face. And I will set about filling it all in and making it all look nice and neat and symmetrical and square later. But certainly for now, just knowing that the system works is enough for me. Okay, I need to go back into my bag of goodies and bring out some more stacks of stone bricks. There we go. So now we need to set that as being the default position and put some bricks around. Okay, so what we have basically just set up there is the most basic sort of two-piece level. And so what we do now is we basically repeat the same thing one level up. So we go one level of blocks up, except this time when we're repeating things we are actually going to be sort of one deeper but also higher. So to save myself the issue I was just having then when I was trying to put this all together, I'm going to put my blocks out and lay my repeaters and lay my pistons, and then I'm going to put the pressure plates in last to make sure I don't go and push myself off. Yep, that was necessary. I thought I'd gone one block too deep, but no. Because what I will need to do is have the same setup I had before, where I go, so you have pressure plate. This time it's 4 repeaters though. And then those are going to have to drive into blocks. And then those blocks I'm going to just make sure I get this in the right spot. Need to have a one-piece gap in the corner. And then yes, once again those blocks are going to drive pistons, and those pistons are going to push towards the center. So just heard a rat. Rats don't really scare me, but when you're climbing somewhere precariously like this, they can bite you and knock you down, and that's a giant pain. Okay, so 4 blocks, 4 sticky pistons, facing bricks. So we do the same here. What you basically want to leave is no room for a ghast to escape, so that's why you have to have these corner ones in. And then I'm going to have to build up another couple of levels of corner ones as well. And then eventually soon I'm going to have to get to the point where I'm ready to put the spawners in. And then I've got to work out where I want to put those. The original design for this was only designed for one single spawner. So the fact that I'm going to have 2 spawners should double the spawn rate and should make it a much more effective trap, even if it isn't as well designed as the original. And even if because I'm operating it with a lever, even if I kind of mistime a few things and have to manually do it. So there we go. So once again we're going to go 1 level up, and this is going to be the level of the spawners. Now this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is an 8 by 8. So what I need to do now is I need to come out 1 further and then go up. So that is going to be my roof. So what I'm going to do now is just go around and fill this in. That's my outside wall. And hopefully not fall off. Okay, so there's my wall. So now, like I said, we have to go and we have to make the roof. So we come 2 further up. Looks like I worked through the whole night. Well, this is getting on a bit this episode. I'm going to have to... Luckily I'm almost finished. I can just tell I'm going to place a block and then, yep, there you go, it didn't recover. So, well, how much more have I got? 3 more stacks. That will be absolutely plenty. Because all I've got to do after this is just fill the roof in. Now that I'm looking at that roof doesn't look like it's going to be tall enough. No, it'll be fine. What might happen is I might end up slightly reducing the blaze spawn rates if I don't have the roof at quite the right height, but I don't see that as being a huge issue because of the fact that I'm going to have 2 spawners, so might not spawn quite as fast as they normally would, but with twice as many spawners I should end up with more than enough. Drop ourselves down to the corner. Yep, so that's enough height for the blazes to spawn. Now what I need to do is build my sand up to the right altitude. Okay, let's put our pressure plates down. What we need to do is we need to put down 1, 2, 3, 4 pressure plates on each side. I want to end up so that I'm in the position where my sand is, so when this pressure plate knocks me off, I'm okay. So here we go. Boom. So now I'm going to dig myself down and I'm going to run back, and there's no easy way to do this, is there? I can only take one spawner at a time. What I want to do is I want to come back. Actually, I might drop down through the ceiling and do it. That might work. Because what I want to do is set myself up so that sorry, I got a bit distracted then. I want to set myself up so that what I'm doing is putting 2 spawners in, and I want to have the levers just sitting here on the wall. So I might actually extend that wall one further to make sure I don't have any interference. And yes, I will pause the video and I will come back once I have a blaze spawner. Back soon. Okay, I've got my blaze spawner. I'm really glad I put this path in because this beats swimming. But look at that thing. That is a non-symmetrical, horrible eyesore. So I'm probably going to have to go 1 block further out each way and try and make it look at least like some form of respectable tower. But for now, it's up, up, up and away. Need to get myself right to the top of it. Oh, too far. Let's just have a block to walk over. Now what I want to do is once again, I want to get something. I'll put my pick away to repair itself. I want to drop down in the corner, but I want to have a way out quickly. So what I want to do is build up a bit of a set of sand sort of steps. Repair this roof later. Yep, yeah, there we go, beautiful. So now we want to place the spawner in the center. It's not going to be an easy way to do this, is there? We want to place it in the center, and we want to place it 1 above the pistons. So I shouldn't have dropped down here. Those sand are just going to have to deal with sitting by themselves, so we want to go out into the center. So we're looking, I've just totally lost perspective on things. So this should be the center just here. So that should be in line with the... Okay, so what you want to do when you're making this is you want to make sure that you try and keep things as symmetrical as possible. So I'm going to put 1 just here and 1 just there on that side of it. But for now, we have a blaze spawner, and blazes are spawning, and I don't want to get killed by blazes, so having that little bar that I put in there will drop the spawn rate. But that's okay, because for demonstration purposes this should still work effectively. So you can hear my pistons clicking and clicking and clicking, and there we go, you can see pistons pushing out and knocking blazes down. Now it's time to see if this machine works. We want to hit that one just there, which closes the glass above their head and locks them in place. Now we want to hit this switch. You'll hear like a tink 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 as they're getting hurt. Now what we want to aim for is 19 is just the right amount. So I'm going to go for 18 and stop a bit early so I can kill them by hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I've got to allow for the fact that that doesn't open straight away. Should probably have taken the delay out. Never mind. You shouldn't be getting hurt. basically the idea is that once you have the timing right, you can grab your fist or a brick or anything else and just stand here and then punch to your heart's content and they die. Mine's obviously not configured like that, so I'm going to have to still hit them with my sword. But you can see that I think I just jumped 4 levels. So wait for a couple more to come down. And I've also collected my first blaze rod. Come on, spawn some more. There we go. That will occasionally happen. It's probably because of my bad design, because you shouldn't walk up to them until you've hit that switch. So once you hit that switch, it pushes them forward and now they can't see you. So let's try again. So that was 17 by my count, so it should be 1 sword hit for each of them. Beautiful, look at that. Up to level 14 now. So now I have my Blaze XP farm, and now the original Ethos design had a way of disabling the spawner to stop it by using like a lava trap that sat up the top. But what I'm thinking is that sounds like a lot of hard work for not a lot of gain. So just by walking back more than 16 or 20 blocks away from the spawner, it automatically stops spawning. So those couple of blazes are going to be stuck in there for a while. They won't despawn because of the Mo creature settings that I have. But basically, as a general rule, they are not going to keep spawning because I'm too far away from the spawner. So time to check on my diamonds, see how I'm going. Excellent. Don't have anywhere to put them. So what was that? That was 64 and 16. So 64 and 17. That is a lot of diamonds. Please, at the end of the episode, if you want to leave some comments, please leave some comments about what I should do with my stack of diamonds. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you've got some ideas for making your own spawner. Off camera, I'm going to grab the other blaze spawner and add that to double my spawn rate. So this should be really good when we do the episode download, which will be at the end of next episode. So again, thank you very much for watching. Astocky out.